I think Trump just found his 2024 running mate, if we're being completely honest. But other obvious things aside, like, I think Tulsi was probably the final person to figure out that she was no longer a Democrat. Like, everybody's kind of noticed her metamorphosis a little bit, all the way starting from pre-2020, all the way through till today. Like, she's pretty much shifted on all of the policies that would have made her a Democrat a long time ago. So, I don't know, did she just wake up today and realize that, I actually am not a Democrat, even though I left Congress just about, well, a little over 2 years ago at this point, and yeah. Like, what's keeping me to the sinking ship at this point? Well, also, she kind of had to promote her appearance on Joe Rogan, which is something he didn't have to do when he was back on YouTube and actually relevant instead of just, a couple of the different headline grabbing podcasts that he makes every once in a while. Oops, did I say the quiet part out loud? Yeah, Joe Rogan's not nearly as relevant as he was before, but anyway, still, I want to take a look at what her announcement is here and just see if there's any relevant points that she's making here. Because, again, all of the headlines that are running around right now, okay, elitist Democrat Party, cowardly wokeness, blah, 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 your same talking points. Like, this could just be a campaign message. Okay, this could just be an announcement that, oh, yes, I'm running for the Republican Party, in any district around the country. Okay, it's the exact same talking points. I just want to see if there's anything specialized to, I am leaving the left, therefore, here, just picking up the exact same playbook that many other prior Democrats had picked up beforehand, like Dave Rubin, anybody else associated with the walkaway movement, Brandon Straka's whole entire gimmick in 2020. Okay, I used to be a Democrat, but then, the party went way too left for me. It's always been like that. They've always been supporting unions. They've always been about collectivism. Don't give me any of this horse shit when it comes to, nope, just one of those old school Democrats that are out there. Are we talking about the pre-flip from Bill Clinton in the early 90s, or what are we talking about here? I'm going to need you to define your terms, because that Democratic Party, it's always been about progressivism. The exact same shit that they're doing today is just simply a derivative of what they've been doing for a long old time. So now that we got all the groundwork out of the way, let's see what she's talking about. Because, again, I like Tulsi Gabbard. There's some old videos on the channel here from a couple of years ago when she was relevant. She was sponsoring some bills that I really appreciated, really liked. It was kind of contrary to some of her old positions that were kind of giving me a little bit of a hang-up. And she was, of course, the people who were still, well, I'm center-left, and I'll just go ahead and support the likes of Andrew Yang. Boy, he's really shown his colors now, hasn't he? And Tulsi Gabbard at the same time. But then when she got yeeted out of the 2020 primary elections, then people just started to walk away from that party, as it were, right? Like, that was Tim Pool's entire gimmick. And for a Democrat, somebody running under that banner, she was a fine alternative. She was never going to get picked, okay? She's not one of Hillary Clinton's chosen people. And given the fact that in 2024, it's going to be Hillary Clinton, let's fucking cut the shit at this point, okay? That old bitch is definitely going to be running, and everybody just needs to strap in for 2016 meets 2024, because we haven't fucking changed in decades. Still here in the same fucking place. Nothing changes. Anyways, former Democratic House member and presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard announced she is leaving the party Tuesday. Oh my God. Did she get reservations anywhere else? Or where's she going? Well, what happened? What'd she leave? Blasting it as an elitist cabal driven by cowardly wokeness and trading in anti-white racism. It's a little bit different, okay? Because not even Republicans are addressing the fucking gigantic elephant in the room, as it were. No pun really intended there. So that's good. That's good. She's adding on top of that. Okay. I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that is now under complete control of an elitist cabal warmongers. It's always been like that. Sorry, sweetheart. It's always been like that. Driven by cowardly wokeness, who divide us by radicalizing every issue and stoke anti-white racism, actively work to undermine our God-given freedoms. Oh yeah, and again, that party of yours right there, or at least it was, right, this morning, maybe, or back when Joe Rogan, because I haven't listened to the podcast, I didn't know about it before I did the research for this, so, because again, Joe Rogan cans all of his interviews and then releases them out periodically, so this was a couple of days ago. She knew about it, she posted the video here that was all edited and ready to go, and then now she's grifting on it. Hey, it's fine, like, she's got good points here, I'm not going to hold that against her, I'm just saying. You really need to assess the entire situation. If you think that this is now just a recent shift in the Democrat Party, I got news for you. You haven't been paying attention for years. And yeah, abdicating, the whole God-given thing. You remember when Joe was campaigning in 2020? It was like, oh, we've got unalienable rights that are bestowed upon us by the the thing. Doesn't want to say God, mostly because they were classmates together, and it's wrong to besmirch anybody's name. Gabbard 41 said in a searing video posted on Twitter, but it was also pimping her Tulsi Gabbard show. Yeah, so maybe it was a clip from the show. Not entirely sure. Gabbard, who gave up her House seat representing Hawaii, the way that she pronounces it. Okay, that's just regular, three-quarter white guy would say Hawaii. Yeah, there you go, down there, a bunch of little fucking islands in the middle of nowhere. Very nice to go, but very expensive to be at. To run for president in 2020, condemned the Progressive Party for being hostile to people of faith and spirituality. Ugh, spirituality. Oh my God. Well, I decided to leave the Democratic Party because I'm a water sign and I just have to go with the tides. And I feel like the party's not for me anymore. Is that the type of spirituality you're talking about? Okay. While demonizing the police and protecting criminals at the expense of law-abiding Americans. Oh, we have plenty of examples of that, but I need not bog this down any further. She then accused party leaders of weaponizing national security to go after their political opponents, and above all, who are dragging us ever closer to nuclear war. What? No, come on. It's not like they're actively pushing on Ukraine, trying to be the ones to initiate anything. Of course. Well, you can also see that from the Uniparty at large, so that's why she's not, go out there saying I'm leaving the Democrat Party for the Republican Party because, hey, it's two sides of the same fucking coin at the end of the day. A terrible freeze frame because she is an attractive lady. No simp or anything like that. My eyes fucking work after all. And hoop earrings, huh? Interesting. Gabbard, who endorsed Joe Biden's candidacy after dropping out of the presidential race. Yeah, that's just stupid. Why you do that? Said she believes in a government that's of the people, by the people, for the people. So what's your take on 2020? Just asking, okay? Just asking. I know you're on Locals and probably on Rumble. Locals, the Patreon alternative, not, like a dating site or anything like that. That'd be weird. It's weird. Unfortunately, today's Democratic Party does not. Instead, it stands for a government that is of, by, and for the powerful elite. Fair enough. Fair enough. Gabbard also addressed other disillusioned common sense Democrats. Like who? Because I want to know who you're talking about there. Calling on them to follow her lead. No, they're already gone, okay? They seen the writing on the wall in 2020 and they were like, peace, but they were already behind the times because everybody, all the cool kids, yeah, man, they were catching up after Barack Obama decided to not follow up on any of his hope and change and I'm going to be the great uniter. I'm going to go ahead and let me be clear. I'm going to unite this divided country after the problem. That was the George W. Bush presidency. I don't think he did a very good job. I will come in and do a very good job. And most people who voted for him, yeah, the people who could see, yes, the proverbial writing on the wall, as I said before, they were already leaving the party, okay, and they weren't voting for him a second time. That's why it wasn't quite the sweeping landslide, even though his competition was arguably not as strong in 2012. Just about lost that motherfucker, by the way. Anywho, and he would have won a third election. Ain't that fucking great? God, it looks like she might have got those teeth fixed because, yeah, no, it definitely looks that way because, oof, boy, gums McGillicuddy there. I'm calling on my fellow common sense Democrats, independent-minded Democrats, to join me in leaving the Democratic Party. Oh my God, she's basically a terrorist with that statement right there. If you no longer stomach the direction of the so-called woke Democratic Party ideologues are taking our country, and I invite you to join me. This is a little bit better than what you'd hear from your standard rank-and-file tradcucks or your fucking neocons that are out there. I like this better, okay, but that's just me. Gabbard did not say in her message whether she would join the Republican Party. Don't. Just don't. Remain independent, or, you know what, hey, just go whole hog and hop in with Trump in 2024. That would be great. It would fucking make just people melt down, and if Ron wants to sit down there and chill in Florida and Kerry Lake wants to go out there and run Arizona, I think that this would probably be the best alternative, because Mike Pence, I don't know, he's out there shocking farm animals, making sure that they ain't gay or some shit. I don't fucking know what he's doing, nor do I care. He's a hunk of garbage. Anywho, registers as a political independent, or oh right, yeah, she didn't give any further input and any sort of concrete direction of what she's going to be going for. Obviously, she would be registered as a Democrat regardless of just this simple statement, because if she doesn't do anything else, well, she could still vote for whoever she wants, right? She spoke in February at a Conservative Political Action Network, yeah, at a CPAC somewhere, right? In which she called for unity and deplored the powerful elites who are eroding individual rights. Yeah, that's why it's okay, like, because we're on the doorstep, right? We're less than a month away from the midterms, because they're November 8th, right? So for her to make the statement right now, I don't know if she's endorsed anybody. I don't know if she's out there and stumped anybody. So that's why this statement, this acknowledgement that she's no longer a part of the Democratic Party as it is in its current state, it's like, did you finally get the memo? Did the letter get lost in the mail for all these months? Because you haven't been hanging around with too many Democrats lately, okay? You haven't been espousing their policies for a long old fucking time. Because again, I think that she's pretty decent, all things said and done, okay? I had a couple of hang-ups that were out there. And I've also seen her on social media post a bunch of different videos and statements as well, because she circulates. I don't follow her or anything like that, because you could tell if it was on there. I don't really care too much about following her, because she doesn't post enough fucking surfing pictures for me. But no, she was posting some kind of like I know everybody who has ever had a YouTube account, which would be everybody watching this, I guess, in some form or fashion. You've had one of those Keanu Reeves, John Wick clips go through, one of those interactive gun ranges where he goes out there and just quickly changes the magazines and fires, or maybe the one with the rifle. You've probably seen that as well, or even Halle Berry. It doesn't matter whatever you've watched on any social media platform. You will get those recommended. It's been a couple of months, but those were on everybody's fucking feed, so you've probably seen something like that. Then Tulsi Gabbard posted one of those about a week ago, something like that, okay? And one of my big hang-ups from like fully endorsing her, thinking that she's a decent candidate, was her love, her outright appreciation for the curtailing of gun rights for the average American person. But if she's gonna go out there and post something like that, has she walked that back? Because again, she was another one of those stumpers for women's rights, i.e. killing babies. But then, on her way out the door, she was co-sponsoring bills that would curtail, late-term, mid-term abortions. So, when I was doing those videos in on or around a year ago, I guess it would have been even longer ago than that, because she still would have been an active member of Congress. Everybody's known for a while, yep, she is not a Democrat. Glad it finally got to her over there on the island. Gabbard distanced herself from the Dems after her failed presidential bid, and eventually went to become a critic of Biden, denouncing him in May for labeling former President Donald Trump MAGA movement as the most extreme political organization that existed. Wow, imagine that. Yeah. A very tepid take, and something that her once fellow Democrats kind of don't really follow. We'll follow up on that here in a second. At the time, Gabbard accused the president of equating Trump followers with terrorists. Well, he did. Okay, extremist MAGA Republicans. We need to get them and throw them in train cars and take them on a trip. No, he didn't quite go that far, but hey, man, his battle for the soul of America speech. Boy, that's really aging like fine milk. So he essentially said that this MAGA crowd are worse than terrorists. This is outrageous. And so, for every American who's watching, every American who's seen this, no matter how you feel about the MAGA crowd, this is an authoritarian assault on our freedom, Gabbard told Fox News' Sean Hannity. Gabbard also called out former President Barry, for refusing to say Islamic extremists are waging a war against the United States. Oh, fair enough. Known for her strong libertarian streak. Is that what's in her hair? Because I just thought that was a cool little highlight or something like that. Anyways, Gabbard has spoken about the need to ban private prisons and emphasize rehabilitation for the criminal justice system, but not the way that the Democrat Party is doing that, by letting everybody go out there on the street. You can get rehab on the street. Don't worry about them. We'll give you some money and a fucking free phone or some shit like that. Just I promise you're not going to commit another crime, and if you do, we'll just, we'll just have to go through this rigmarole once again. It completely takes away the freedom of women to choose whether or not to have an abortion. Even if a woman or girl is a victim of rape or incest, this law must be rejected, as she was talking about in May of 2019, criticizing an Alabama statute about abortion, a position which she has since changed quite a bit. So yeah, you guys need to, update your references when it comes to that stuff. But hey, what do I know? I'm just some asshole with a fucking content creation streak in him. But what is she leaving behind in this one? We know a couple of the different examples that are out there, okay? What does she not find herself to be in common with the common Democratic Party in today's day and age? Well, you know what? Hey, like it says here, she's saying that MAGA Republicans, supporters of President Donald Trump are not terrorists. Good. Not exactly a position that Tim Ryan was talking about this not that long ago. He was saying something ridiculous, but then he just doubled down on it because it looks like he had a debate with J.D. Vance, who was very articulate, very eloquent, and probably wiped the floor with him, because if he needed to go ahead and rely on this statement right here, things must have been getting pretty sour for him. And this is up in Ohio, right? This is for the vacated Ohio Senate seat that's out there, okay? And it's in a swing state, so a Democrat definitely has an opportunity to get that. Just as a reminder for everybody, in 2020, Ohio went for President Donald Trump by 9.8 points. So swing state, of course. Democrat Tim Ryan doubles down on call to kill and confront MAGA Republicans, specifically targets J.D. Vance and violent rhetoric. Of course, why not? Democrat Representative Tim Ryan doubled down on his comments from earlier in the year calling to kill and confront MAGA, while specifically targeting J.D. Vance for his rhetoric during his debate on Monday night. In the heated debate between Ryan and his Republican opponent for the Ohio Open U.S. Senate seat, Ryan was confronted, and asked to explain his comments earlier in the year when he told MSNBC's Morning Joe that the exhausted majority need to kill and confront the extremist Republican movement. Okay, now Ryan, during the debate, doubled down on his comments, including Vance and the group of people he labels as extremists. Cool. Kill and confront the extremist movement of which J.D. Vance, unfortunately, is part of. Okay. I don't know if that's going to work out for you. Bold statement, Cotton. Let's see if it works out well for him. Ryan, trying to frame Vance for his past comments, added, who says the president of the United States is intentionally trying to kill people with fentanyl? Who says that the election was stolen? Well, if Joe's not going to do anything about the southern border where fentanyl is flooding in, you could extrapolate that out to saying that he's at least, the most charitable interpretation of that could be he's turning a blind eye to the amount of murders, or de facto murders, if you want to put it that way, or at least to the amount of people that are overdosing on fentanyl every day. And election stolen? I have no idea what you're talking about. 81 million votes for Joe Biden cannot possibly be wrong. Who runs around with Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, who wants to ban books? Which books are you talking about? What kind of a ban are you talking about here? Getting rid of sexual, pseudo-pornography from public schools? Yeah, no, exactly. He's all about banning books, right? Says the motherfucker who's on the side that wants to have people completely exterminated from polite society. Weird. He runs around with Lindsey Graham. I don't think so. Who wants the national abortion ban? You say that like it's a bad thing. You're running around Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's the absolute looniest politician in America. Oh, I'm sorry, you mispronounced Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Ryan said, looking to list off lawmakers Vance has come in contact with or commented on the campaign trail. Okay, cool. This is a dangerous group. Well, unless you criticize doilies, Lindsey Graham isn't that much of a fighter, and Marjorie Taylor Greene's like knee-high to a pissant, but I think Ron DeSantis might smack you up, but we wouldn't want to see Tim Ryan cry in public, now would we? That's embarrassing. That's a dangerous group. And that's why I'm running to represent the exhausted majority. Bro, you're going to get fucking blown out of the water, stupid. But that's the type of party that Tulsi Gabbard doesn't think that she represents anymore. I would argue she hasn't represented them in fucking years at this point. So, welcome to the world of independent thought. Took you long enough to get here. I just hope you have something better than, fucking jean shirt when you go back out there on the campaign trail. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.